Good morning, everybody. I'm Julian Boulding, President of thenetworkone, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the Independent Agency Showcase Seminar today. A special welcome for those of you who are independent agencies and have paid your own way to come here, like the rest of us. I'd also especially like to welcome, we have several friends here from my favorite country where I lived for 3 years, from Brazil. So a special welcome for all Brasileiros and everybody else who's made it here. I'm sorry to say just one thing. There is one person who has not made it here, which is John Kamen of Radical Media. And unfortunately, we just had word this morning. He's missed his flight. He's on his way, but he won't be here for this seminar. So hopefully some of you may get the chance to meet him during the festival. Having said that, in a way, I'm not too sorry, because it'll give us a little bit of extra time to showcase the work of two of, we think, the most exciting independent agencies anywhere in the world. The Barbarian Group from the US and IQ Marketing from Russia. And I'm also particularly pleased that we've got here today two people. Amanda Johnston, who's Sales and Marketing Director of Telstra Big Pond, which I'm unofficially informed is the biggest advertising client in Australia and certainly one of the most adventurous and creative. And Rob Belgiovany of Belgiovany Williams Mackay, who is Telstra's agency in Australia. And if any of you were here last year, you'll have seen the fabulous campaign which they produced, and they very kindly undertaken to come here today to introduce the speakers. I think at the little clock counting down, I've got about 1 more minute to tell you a few words about our company, thenetworkone. Many people ask what we do. Essentially, we are geared up to work with independent agencies who are interested in working with multinational clients. And that is going to be probably quite a few of you in the audience today. We do basically two things. We are not a fixed network like an Ogilvy or a McCann or a Worldwide Partners or one of these. We're a company which custom builds networks. And what that means is we'll work for a multinational marketing client, and we will identify what we believe are the best agencies for their business, whether they be in China or the US or Russia or Australia, whether they be digital agencies, offline, traditional media agencies, the right agency in the right place for the client. So it is literally a very different business model to anybody else's network. It's a custom-built network for each client. The second thing we do is we provide, in effect, for independent agencies who have clients that need agencies in other countries, a network on demand. So again, it's not a fixed network. People call us up and say, who is your member in such and such a country? We don't have a fixed roster of members. We provide a resource. We have a huge database. We work, I think, now with about 300 different independent agencies in 60 countries. And our aim is always for each independent to find the right partner in the right place, set the right expectations, make sure the deal is struck in the right way, and provide exactly the resource that that agency needs for their client in any country in the world. So we may get a call from an agency in the States looking for an agency in China, an agency in Germany that wants partners in all of the EU countries. We even got a call from an Australian agency looking for a partner in New Zealand, and I think that was about our best achievement this year. But enough of that, enough of us. I'd really like now to hand over to Rob to introduce the first of the agency speakers, and Rob Belgiovany.
Thank you. 2 or 3 years ago, while the marketing community were discussing and analysing how to move their brands into a content-driven digital world, and whether or not it would really have any impact on the traditional television ad model, the Barbarian Group launched an experiential marketing site for Burger King called Subservient Chicken. With 30 million hits, it remains arguably the most successful website in the world, and as most of you would know, a Gold Lion winner. With a brief to make consumers aware that Burger King serves chicken your way, they invited consumers to make a man in a chicken suit do whatever they wanted him to do. And no one could argue that this was one hell of a long way from slow-motion TV ads of lettuce and tomato falling sensuously onto a burger bun. If advertising needed a shake-up, it had certainly arrived. This campaign announced that marketing and advertising had become staid and boring, that there were massive opportunities to innovate and break new ground. Then the Barbarian Group did it again with their beer cannon for Miller. Pure fun for consumers, and again, a long way from slow-motion footage of a beer pouring in close-up into a glass. And so, the advantage of an independent group with no committees and no mind-numbing meetings that eventually and too often neutralise great thinking was made crystal clear. The Barbarian Group believe in the freedom to innovate. The people they hire are young, fresh thinkers. In fact, they've just hired a guy who makes robots, and I don't entirely know why, but I'm kind of nervous about it. You know, why robots? So, you know, this is scary stuff. But hopefully, the new president of the group, Bruce Winterton, will in a few minutes help us learn what innovation really feels like and how we can all help our clients into a new level of creative expression. Ex-BBH in Ogilvy, New York, the new president of the Barbarian Group has enjoyed a career recognised for innovation and new thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in making him feel welcome, Mr. Bruce Winterton.
Good morning, everyone.